Right, so there we are. Onkyo CD MD HDD tuner amplifier BR-NX8. It's all written there. It's got an onboard 80GB hard drive. Moreover, it's a network player. It connects to the internet. Not Wi-Fi, by the way. Other points to note: USB socket, memory stick duo. Now, it's the Sony memory stick system, the Sony flash memory system. Goes in there like so, and USB plugs in down here. Something to note is that you've got buttons here for the hard disk drive play and pause, CD play and pause, MD play and pause, tuner, and a stop button. Something rather strange is if you want to play music from the memory stick duo, it's got the button there. Can you see that? It's got the play button there. So HDD, CD, MD, memory stick duo, got the tuner button moved down there. But on the device itself, there's no button. There are no controls for the memory stick duo. Well, actually, you can select it in these buttons here going into the menu, and I'll show you that in a bit. But there's no easy way to do it, quick, simple way to do it using the controls on the front. This machine does not play music from a USB memory stick. So I looked this up in the manual, and yes, I finally looked something up in the manual. And what the manual says is that the USB memory stick function is simply to transfer MP3 files to and from the onboard hard drive. Just for the record, this is not a high MD, it's a regular MD. So it's a 2006 model, as I said, and it certainly has MD long play, MD LP, MD long play. Point to note is it does not have Wi-Fi. This connects to a LAN cable and Ethernet cable. Let's switch it on. It's got this big colour screen, not a touch screen. The clarity, the resolution of the screen isn't brilliant, and if you are getting on a bit with middle-aged eyesight like me, you may want to put your glasses on, your reading glasses on. It's got an issue with reading CDs. Now I'm going to put in a CD just so you can see what I'm talking about. I tried several CDs yesterday and it couldn't read any of them to play them. Now you'll see what I'm talking about. So I've got the BGs there, slots in there. Note the type of loading mechanism. It's not a tray type. It can read it, and this is another interesting point to note, by the way. I'm assuming it's reading from CD text because this is not connected to the internet. However, if you do connect it to the internet, it would pull the info from a database and attach it, assign it to files that you rip to the hard drive. Let's press play there and see what happens. Now, you won't hear any sound, by the way. Now, it can't play it. Can you see that? So it's not playing. So this is a really bizarre thing, that this machine and that message says it can't play the file. So it's skipped to the second track and it's still having issues. It can't play it. Really, really annoying. And I had a look for more info on this machine, and I saw another seller on Amazon, and at least he was honest. He admitted that he was selling a machine that had a temperamental CD player. So let's eject that. I've got one homemade, and as you can see, just burnt on my, I think I burnt it on a Windows PC a few years ago. If I put that in there, so I edited out the reading time. It took a few seconds to read it. So it's read the CD, it recognizes the CD. Now if I press play, no CD text on this, because when I burnt the CD, it didn't have any CD text attached to it. I didn't deal with that when I burnt the CD. But look, it's playing it. And by the way, I have checked this already before making the video. I plugged in headphones, and the reason I'm not playing any sound through the speakers is because of something I'm going to show you shortly, which is another thing to watch out for when you buy such audio equipment. And every single CD that I put in here that I made myself, I burnt myself, it recognizes that all CDRs that I've made, it's fine with. However, it doesn't recognize any factory-made pre-recorded CDs. How bizarre is that? Can't understand it. Right, let's stop that. Now, if this was connected to the internet, it would probably pull the track information from its online database and assign it to each track. Right, there we are. So next up, I've got an MP3 data CD of 7 albums of music, and if I put that in there, so there we are, it's reading the disc. That says it's reading, and there we are, it's recognized it. So this machine does play MP3 CDRs that you've burnt on a computer. These are the albums. You go down, you see all 7 there, and if you press the right button there, you can then go into and open the album and see the individual tracks. If I go back there, now I've selected the first album on there. If I press enter, and it opens it again, and then I press enter and it starts to play. And it really does work. I had headphones connected yesterday and I was checking it out, and it plays MP3 CDs absolutely fine. I'm guessing that this image here is going to be the album cover retrieved from an internet database. Right, we've got problems. Oh, no, we haven't. No. Oh, it's taking it back. It was thinking about it. I guess this machine likes AC/DC. Well, I won't edit this out so you can see what happens. Reading. So it started to spit out the disc, and it's taken it back. Let's press that again. Okay, working this time. So what about CDRWs? Does it play a rewritable CDR? Got some music on there in MP3 format. I think it's MP3 format. Don't remember actually what's on there, but I know there's something on it. I've written a note here saying it's funky disco house. Can't read it. So this machine does not read CDRWs. Point to note, the other 2 mini systems by Onkyo from a similar era that I've already reviewed in videos also cannot play CDRWs, don't recognize CDRWs, rewritable CDs. I've checked the MD player. The MD player works perfectly fine. It's very good, no issues whatsoever. It's got the time display there. Frankly, that is really small, and nobody is going to be able to read that from any distance more than about arm's length, especially given the poor resolution of the screen. So it seemed to be doing some sort of, trying to do some sort of system update, which it obviously can't do if it's not connected to the internet. I assumed that it was trying to retrieve system update information from the internet. That's what I'm assuming. And because it isn't connected, it probably is programmed to do things like that, and it's probably the designers expected you to keep it connected to the internet. But I can hear the hard drive going around. The message says please wait, and it's going to shut down automatically. It shut down at last. There we are. We know it's gone off because the blue light there has gone off, and there should be a standby. Yes, there's a red standby light there. There is the side view if you're interested. Scratch there. Point to note, this item was described as very good, cleaned and tested, and everything working properly, which was an utter lie. There is the other side. Now, I mentioned earlier, I think that it's been dropped, because if you look there, there's a dent there, some damage. I would say this thing has been dropped on this corner, or something fell on it on that corner. That's significant damage, because this is metal, and something's happened there. So that might be why it's unstable. Might be why it's been knocked out of shape. Anyway, there we've got the Ethernet connection. We've got a video monitor out. Forgot to mention that. It can be connected to a TV via an RCA video cable. And one set of analog audio in and out. FM connector there. AM antenna connectors there via spring clips. Now this is the big issue. Look at those speaker connectors. They are not the regular. You'd expect them to just to put normal like spring clip types on a device like this. A point to note then, if you buy a product like this, I strongly advise you to check, are you going to get anything unusual? These speaker connectors are unusual, and it did not come with those cables and connectors, which means if you buy something like this and you really want to use it, you're going to have to hunt down and find these connectors. Note the fan there. Now the fan hasn't cut in the whole time it's been on. In addition to the speaker cables being rather unusual, remember that if you do buy any used gear, they don't always come with remote controls. Now you can often find somebody selling remote controls online separately. They often charge way over what I would say is a fair price for remote controls. This came with it, but it is worth remembering that they don't always supply a remote control, and some of the functions for these machines are only possible on remote controls. They don't necessarily have all the functions on the machines themselves. There's no manual with this either. It's mostly intuitive, but the screen did have a menu system which although it's in Japanese, that's another thing by the way, should say couldn't change the language. There's no language option. So bear that in mind if you buy anything from Japan that may have any kind of menu system that requires you to understand instructions on the screen. It did not have a language change option. If you want to see the remote control in detail, pause your screen now, and for your information, it takes 2 AA batteries. It is an amazing piece of kit, and it's definitely something that had it been fully working, in full working order, I would be really pleased with it in terms of functionality and its uniqueness. And I certainly regret the fact that I have to send it back due to the faults you've seen in the video. And if you get a chance to get hold of one that is in full working order, in good condition, I think you'll really have a very unique and interesting machine on your hands.